This study is really focused on ENDA. ENDA is the Employment-Antidiscrimination Act, and that is an act that is not passed yet, and it allows for federal protection against sexual orientation in the workplace. There are several reasons why people aren't in favor of this law. The first one has to do with morality. People think that gays and lesbians should not be accorded equal rights in the workplace. And our research didn't focus on this issue. It focused on another reason. And the second reason is that people don't feel like laws would be effective. They wouldn't make a difference anyway. And our research challenged this and said, this is something we can empirically test. In the first study, what we wanted to know is, do people know laws exist when there are places that these laws exist? So there are places that have city ordinances, state ordinances, and we simply went into places that have ordinances and do not have ordinances and found out that those places that have ordinances have greater recognition of the laws. So now we know from study one that people are aware of the laws. And now what we want to know in study two is, do the laws influence behavior? If there's a law that prevents me from discriminating on the basis of sexual orientation, am I less likely to discriminate? And what we did is we sent research assistants into places where there were laws and where there were not laws. There's a big metropolitan area. Some of the suburbs actually have laws and some do not. It's within the same metropolitan area, so we had nice standardization. And we sent people into these suburbs, and we sent them all into places that had job postings. So they were all hiring. And when we sent people in, they wore hats, and the hats either said Texan and proud, or they said gay and proud. They did not know what their hats said, so they were blind to their condition. And they applied for jobs, and they asked if they could fill out an application. And we audio taped the conversations between the applicants and the store employers. And we later had independent coders code the interactions. And what we found was there was more discrimination in those interactions where there were not laws than where there were laws. So laws were effective. They reduced the discrimination. So is it the law that's driving the behavior, or is it the people that are driving the laws? And what we did in the third study was really control for that. We brought it into a lab, and we were able to say to individuals, okay, a law exists or it doesn't exist. And this law protects individuals on the basis of sexual orientation, or it does not. Now, interact with a person. And what they did is they interacted with a person who was a Confederate, who did not know what condition they were in. They were trained to act the same way. And on their backpack was affixed a button. They couldn't see what button it was. It was a button that said something in a control fashion, or it said gay and proud. And they also gave a resume. They didn't know which resume they were giving. On the resume, it said they were a member of some organization, or they were a member of the LGBT organization on campus. And subjects interacted with these Confederates, and again, we coded for nonverbal behaviors. And in this condition, we saw the interactions lasted a much shorter time for the gay and lesbian applicants, and there was, again, more negativity in situations where there was no legal protection. So again, bottom line, legal protection, less discrimination. I'm really proud of this research because, first of all, it was one of my graduate students' ideas, and her name is Laura Barron, and she came to me after reading my research and came up with this idea. And I honestly think this is one of the proudest publications that I'm associated with. I feel so proud because it makes a real difference. It has the impact to tell people, you know, regardless of what your belief on this is, and I can't change that, but what I can tell you is that I can say that laws can be effective in reducing discrimination. And here's clear evidence across two very strong studies that show it.